Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. We've been on a good run lately, let's not squander it. It's the holidays, Isaac. Ooh, this is not bad. Ah, yes, my favorite band. Winard Snicksnerd. You don't know them? Sweet Home, South Carolina. Where the beaches are very myrtle. Dude, great rhyme though. You know we could rhyme that bad boy with turtle. I still don't understand the point of butter. Not in real life. It's like my favorite fat, to be honest. You know, in the same way that, you know, you're My Favorite Mistake by Sheryl Crow. When we all know that Sheryl Crow's favorite mistake is definitely her long-term relationship with Lance Armstrong. But either way, where was I going with this? I don't remember. I love butter, though. There was an argument had between Justin and Austin that I weighed in on. They were talking about a food that I don't like to pronounce because people make fun of the way I say it. Pasta. Yo, Aura, what do you gotta give me? Ooh, that's range, and I hate it. But we'll make it work. They were like, and this is a rare time that I would agree with Austin over Justin about something related to food, by the way. Because I'm losing a little bit of, I'd not say respect, but, you know, a faux respect for Austin at least. Because respect implies that I respected him to begin with. But, you know, this guy, I've heard him talk on his show. So that soup is a conspiracy, you know? It's a speed upgrade. You know, oh, I don't want to eat soup. There's too many things in it. Like, why don't you just make a soup, but instead of being liquid, it's solid. He doesn't, you know, he says, like, anybody who enjoys wine, beer, or spirits has tricked themselves into it being an acquired taste. Help? Hold on, I get just so rattled when I talk about this stuff. You know, I've heard him have food opinions that are out of control. Spicy food is not actually enjoyable unless it's not so spicy that it gets too spicy. You know, non-statements like this. And then I was in his chat yesterday, because he's a close personal friend who I would not dare badmouth. And people said, hey, NL, how do you feel about eggnog? I will tell you verbatim in chat. I don't go into people's chats and try to start arguments, okay? That happens naturally because people watch the NLSS and they go, oh, here we go again. Someone goes, NL, how do you feel about eggnog? I typed out very politely, I don't like eggnog. That's not an incendiary statement, you know? They didn't say, I don't like world peace. I don't like penicillin. Said, I don't like eggnog. Hold on, what's our... let's go. Tiers upgrade. Don't squander it. First thing Austin says, and you might have thought that me getting rattled was a bit of an egregious statement. First thing he said, of course Ryan doesn't like eggnog. He doesn't like joy or happiness. Excuse me? Just because I don't like a nutmeg and dairy-based holiday beverage? All of a sudden I don't like joy or happiness? And moreover, by expressing my opinion that I don't like it, yo, this is actually great. Please give me an arcade on the next floor. That I'm inhibiting other people's enjoyment of it? I say no, good sir. I say no. Anyway, Austin and Justin were having an argument. Justin holds an opinion that I found very surprising. He asked me, what is... And he started with a thought experiment, which is always how you know they think they gotcha. He said, what's better, the best pasta or the best steak? And I answered him honestly. I said, that's a tough one. Because I used to not really like pasta. And had a great appreciation for steak. And I still do, you know. But now, I've grown to like pasta quite a lot. So he was apparently of the opinion that the best pasta ever made is like a 7 out of 10, whereas, you know, a great cut of steak cooked properly is like a 10. I don't agree with that. But I think, you know, I could definitely understand, because I've been in that mindset as well. And just because I have this mindset that I'm older doesn't mean I'm any more correct, you know. It's just a difference of opinion. But still, he was of the opinion that pasta was a side as opposed to a main. And I'm like, dude, I don't know about that. I mean, I did have a roommate in college who would have like a side of fettuccine Alfredo. It'll burn you up too, because you're like probably picturing just an enormous man. But he was like extreme. He had a lithe physique. He was like 6'2" and skinny. He had like a swimmer's build. And what did he eat for dinner? Usually like a fried pork chop and like a quart of fettuccine Alfredo, which is 100% Parmesan cheese, butter, and milk. Just mixed together with, you know, pasta, which is just flour. Anyway, I've grown to like pasta a lot. I like pasta. I think one of the reasons I like it now, and this is an evolution you'll have witnessed over the course of videos, by the way, because many times, even within the past couple of years, I'd be like, yeah, I went from like, yeah, I don't really eat pasta, to like, I like some pastas, and now, oh, we got the damage bonus. Just as good as the tier bonus, I think. Now I'm like, dude, when I go to a restaurant, sometimes I order the pasta. You know, it's been a change, and I owe it to my wife, basically. This is why I mentioned, by the way, you know, it's worth trying not to become a picky eater. I know I did like a whole episode, really, where I wouldn't shut up about it. People are probably like, he doesn't get it. I'm allergic to things I don't like the taste of. When I eat a tomato, it makes me want to throw up. Okay, so I'm going to stop saying get over it, but you know what the subtext there is. Safety pin. Oh, sin robes, absolutely. And are we... I think we're good to go down to the next floor. This is still a little bit spotty, but it's working out okay. You know, some days, my wife will just be like, hey, I really want some pasta. And even when I didn't like pasta, I was like, you know, my baby wants, my baby gets. And then when I'd eat it, I'd have like a little wince on my face. And I realized I'm not a huge fan. I can like more than tolerate it, depending on its quality. I'm not a huge fan of the classic, like, you know, spaghetti and tomato sauce sort of pasta. But any pasta that's like, hey, the base is like butter, white wine, and garlic, 10 out of 10. It's like I saw The Godfather one too many times. That's a joke. I've never seen it at all. And I tricked myself into thinking that everything had to be, you know, tomato sauce. And I like tomato sauce okay. But, you know, personally, it's not my ideal choice for the base of a meal. Instead, if you could somehow, you know, just, you know, maybe like an entire stick of butter per plate, that would be a little bit better for me. So here's what I think. I think we buy stopwatch because it's half price. This could be a big shop for us even still. Then we fish for an item that we like, and I think this will qualify. We'll take blank card. We got blank card strength. Relax. We definitely do want battery, baby. And we're not like really that much better off yet, but once we get a card we will be. It also means that we get at least one free deal with the devil anytime we get a deal with the devil, at least with our HP where it stands right now. So that's I mean, it's worth quite a lot. We've basically created our own like homemade Judas's tongue, kind of, without having to give up a trinket slot. Now that's not particularly great. And I was just gonna say, I had a feeling that Krampus was in our future. But at least we got a lump of coal. Anyway, I'm just saying. What am I just saying? I'm just saying that, you know, I don't know. Definitely, you know, believe it or not, as I've gotten older, my opinions have mellowed. If you had asked me like 4 years ago, what's better, the best steak or the best pasta? I would have been like, you are a fool if you don't think the best steak is better than the best pasta. I mean, you're telling me that a flame-grilled sous vide'd, reverse seared ribeye is not as good as a dang old spaghetti. But that's, I think it's, you know, overly reductive. Dare I suggest. I've come around to the #1 criticism of my persona. I say this as somebody who last night had to make the devil's choice. We went out for a fancy-ish Christmas dinner. It was a course menu, but we only had one choice, you know? The appetizer was a seafood platter. Delicious. The dessert, they brought out like, I don't know, a tray of like 8 baked goods. It was too much. But the main course, it hit me with a legitimate tough option. It said, do you want a slow roasted turkey breast with a dark meat remoulade, sweet potato casserole, green beans, asparagus? Or do you want an entire Nova Scotia lobster with melted butter? I forget what the vegetable component was. Or do you want a USDA certified prime rib, Brussels sprouts, whipped potatoes, and a Yorkshire pudding? You know what I went for? Take a guess. If you said turkey because it's Christmas, I'm sorry to tell you, you're the first eliminated from the island. Yo, by the way, I'm not going to the cursed room because I want to keep this aura as long as we can. If you said lobster, I'm willing to give you part marks, okay? Because you would have been correct a couple of years ago, no doubt. I don't get many opportunities to eat lobster because, you know, it's just very expensive. Now, this whole meal was already expensive, so you're like, you know, if all 3 entrees are the same price, why not take the one that's the rarest, right? Well, here's the thing. You didn't do the math, or you did the math, but you don't care about it as much as I did, that you started with a seafood-based appetizer. So I said to myself, you know, I love lobster, I love seafood in general, but after I eat a few oysters, my desire to eat lobster, it goes down just a little bit. Just enough to actually... Hold on, there was a tinted rock somewhere. Was there not? Am I losing it? Okay, I might be losing it, but there's still a good opportunity right here. So yeah, I went for the prime rib. Probably the most pedestrian of all the options. You know why I went for it? I'm about to lose, like, you know, a quarter of my subscriber base for what I'm about to say. First off, it was delicious. Secondarily, I chose it because I like prime rib, but primarily, I love Brussels sprouts, dude. And while I was eating it, never did it cross my mind that, like, I am a fool for ordering an entree based on the fact that it came with Brussels sprouts. There goes our damage bonus, by the way. I live 100% to this day with confidence that that was the right decision for me at that moment in time. You might choose differently, that's okay as well. Why not turkey? I mean, you know, I'm a turkey defender. I am. I think it gets a bad rap. People say turkey's dry. It can be, for sure. I think you don't blame the meat for that. You blame the method of preparation. The stereotype behind turkey is you put it in the oven at, I don't know, freaking 4 in the morning, and you just cook it on like a relatively high heat for 12 hours. You baste it now and then. Yeah, parts of the turkey are going to come out dry. Parts of the turkey are going to come out a little moister. Sorry for using the word that a lot of people dislike, but still. That's the Halloween theme song. Nothing. If, you know, we used to, and I'm not trying to insult my grandmother here, but we used to go to my grandmother's place for Thanksgiving, and the turkey was like a crapshoot. We'd be like, how's the turkey this year? You know what was actually surprisingly good this year? You'd be like, it was a little dry. You know, once, I feel like, you know, molecular gastronomy caught on and was like, hey, you know, just brine your turkey overnight. Cook it on a higher heat for less time, and you're gonna get a juicy, moist turkey, and that's the way You know, I feel like if you want, that's the way, I like it, for one, Casey and the Sunshine Band. But secondarily, you know, that's, if you're talking about turkey being dry, it's probably cooked improperly. But I understand that, you know, however old you are, like that many years of eating dry turkey would create what is not even really a misconception, but just a very narrow belief of what turkey tastes like. But that being said, I'll call it that even like a juicy, you know, perfectly cooked, moist turkey, dark meat and light meat. Look, I can get down with it, don't get me wrong. Still probably take lobster or prime rib over it any day of the week. I'm sorry, turkey. I don't know if it's good for you or bad for you. Like, I kind of think that turkeys have, as far as, like, you know, the meat industry goes, don't they have, like, a preferable position? At least in North America. They're not consumed that much. But, I mean, this is not meant to be contentious. Let's just start with that, okay? But isn't it a little good for the turkeys when you compare them to, like, cows or something like that? That they do get eaten, but they don't get eaten nearly as much. Like, if you're a turkey, aren't you there at the turkey farm? And you're like, dude, I mean, it still blows. But simultaneously, we get all the benefit of not being in the wild. Plus, most people only consume us like 2 times a year. And they do good things. They turn us into a feast for family. And then, you know, they make sandwiches out of... Okay, well, that's pretty menacing. I was struck by, like, a very... Yeah, I think we're happy with teleport. The teleport strength, it doesn't really matter. I was like, you know, whenever there's a movie and, like, a monster tries to... Oh, we have a damage bonus again. And there's like a monster that eats people, you know, like Cloverfield or something like that. We're always like, whoa, it's like the most menacing thing ever. It's like the person, like Matthew McConaughey in Reign of Fire. Like, he's there one moment and he goes, what does he say? It's like, Anton! No, Quinn, that's it. Quinn! Use it. Such a good line. In a movie that, by the way... I mean, I'm not going to say it's heavily underrated. That movie's okay. As far as B movies go, give me a Reign of Fire any day of the week. Matthew McConaughey is a cigar-chewing, shirtless U.S. Former Marine driving a tank through a dragon-inhabited post-apocalyptic England. It's a lot of adjectives. Anyway, where was I going with this? I realized, I was like, man, that's what we do, like, all the time. Just like, you know, there's like a whole individual, and then we're like, hump. I was thinking of this yesterday because there were the oysters in the dish, and I was like, man, if we saw a movie where, like, and I'm sure that this has probably been handled in media, like, 100,000 times, but if there was a movie where, like, you know, monsters did to us what we do to other animals, we would be like, they're the history's greatest villain. And I'm not vilifying meat consumption. I'm just saying there's some food for thought there. And if the monsters were like, well, were it not for us, the monsters, they would have to live in the wild. They'd be exposed to not having every single one of their needs taken care of. So really, I think we're like the good guys. We're like the best thing that ever happened to the human beings. I don't know, man. As always, I maintained that thought in one half of my brain, and then because my corpus callosum was cut by a renegade Bauer as a youngster, the other part of my brain goes, yeah, but it is, like, delicious, though. We'll just deal with that problem at, like, a later date. That whole moral quandary we'll handle at a time more convenient. I mean, it's the holidays. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I'm surprised, by the way, how slow we're going. I'm hopeful Yo, you got me. Fair enough. I'm hopeful that we're able to kick it into gear a little bit. I don't think we're at like a heavy risk of death. But it's very similar to that last run we did, the daily. It just like, it hasn't really gotten much better over the course of the entire thing. Statistically speaking. Now, I mean, what do we have? Starter deck, yes. Sackhead, yes. Blank card, sure. No doubt about it. I think we want a new aura, so let's see what we get from our curse room here. Range. It's obviously terrible. Damage. Okay. Now we're cooking. I don't really care about that penny. Or that nickel. You know, every run, when you get to this point, it's got a little bit more importance attached to it as a result of the fact that we're, you know, we're on a little bit of a streak now. We've been playing pretty well. Not every single one of these runs has been dominant. Some of them have been very tricky. You know, runs that I thought we wouldn't have had much of a chance to get through. So I don't want to throw away the legacy of, you know, 13 good runs. Or 12 good runs. Just, you know, willy-nilly. I can't remember. Did we pick up... I don't think we picked up a guppy item earlier, so I'm going to abstain from that. But goat head for 1 heart strikes me as a deal that I can get behind. No boss rush happening here, and, you know, maybe that's for the best. I feel reasonably confident. But you know what's weird, though, is, like, 1 HP difference mentally is, like, a world of difference right now. Like, when we had 1 red heart but the exact same amount of spirit hearts, I was, like, confident. Now I'm like, oh my god, we have no red hearts. We are screwed! Not true, by the way, but... The nice thing about blank card is not what blank card does, because blank card's actual ability is nothing. And if you don't believe me, press the space bar when you got no card in your card hole. Thank you. Thank you. So it's really the principal benefit of blank card is that you're only ever 1 card away from winning the game. And you know, the mercy of it is that there's many that fit the bill. Emperor probably wins us the game. Hierophant almost certainly wins us the game. Joker, actually not that relevant now that I think about it, but even the world probably contributes a lot. Yera, if we make it far enough, helps out a great deal. The Gaz probably wins us the game. You know, there's all sorts of good options. We should definitely go to the shop. I don't know, man. Would I rather have a Bracano play, or would I rather have a High Priestess play? Or would I rather... Well, that's for more of, like, what do we choose to use? But what do we choose to take? I don't know, it might be good to have 1 damage card and 1 teleport card. Even if the teleport card is the stars. But I'm hopeful that we have no greed and we'll be able to, you know, go to a... or buy a bunch of cards here if we have to and see what we get. Yes. If that's chaos, we're in a great spot. Era walk. I don't even remember. Well, yeah, you slow down time or something. I don't remember. Don't care about broken modem right now. I mean, we definitely do care about the Hierophant. I mean, as I was saying, does it win us the game? Probably. I don't know, maybe we'll take Arrow Walk with us for blank card purposes. You know, we don't need to use Hierophant every time. We can use Arrow Walk on occasion. I don't know, man, this is a little weird, but... You know, now that we have the Hierophant, it's very hard to foresee a situation in which we lose here. And slowing enemies down can be, like, insanely valuable. when we have Sack Dagger as well. So that's not really like a good deal with the devil, but everything's fine. I don't know if Aerowalk does anything else special. Is it okay to drink coffee grounds? And I know that, like, I'm not doing it to be like a, you know, holds up spork. I had a mishap yesterday when I was making the cold brew. I'm not going to belabor the point because, you know, the kinematics of it are relatively inconsequential. Suffice to say, the filter came loose from the thing that holds the filter, and a bunch of coffee grounds spilled into the reservoir. So I'm kind of drinking around them. So I've heard that, you know, they're unpleasant to drink. There's no question about that. But are they actually, like, do they contribute to gastroenterological distress? I do not know. Why didn't I make more coffee? Here's the thing, okay? It was real late at night. That's the thing with cold brew. And it's the thing that, if you're not a coffee drinker, feel free to tune out for a little while here. I'm not, like, genuinely, I'm not a coffee snob. I like good coffee, but I'll drink gas station coffee. I'll drink some burnt Starbucks Pike Place roast. It doesn't bother me. But the way that I prefer to drink coffee, let me raise my chair a little bit. My wrist is starting to hurt. I'm in a non-ergonomic position. But I actually believe that that's important. Anyway, not for gameplay, but, you know, from, like, the health of my body. I prefer to drink cold brew for a couple of reasons. One is, you get coffee right when you wake up. That's the big one for me. Though the big one is that I find it tastes more pleasant. But the secondary reason is as soon as you wake up, you got coffee. You know, all these other jokers for years and years wake up, I need coffee. Put water in the coffee pot. Put some coffee in the coffee pot, or the coffee maker, you know, and then you wait 6 minutes for it to percolate, and then you get a cup, and you go, oh, it's too hot, it's too hot, you know. Me, a genius, wake up, pop the top on this, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's a bottle, but it's like a bottle that also has a filter in it, so you just put water and coffee in it overnight, and you're good to go in the morning. I'm not gonna be that guy who's like, it saves me a lot of time. But, you know, I want coffee ASAP, and it shows up ASAP, in my opinion, in its most pleasant form. But yeah, there was a mishap last night. But I would always advise, you know, if you're a coffee drinker, you can drink cold coffee year-round. You drink cold water year-round. I don't know. I feel like, in a way, I have, like, I don't want to say an advantage. But I didn't start drinking coffee, believe it or not, until I needed, basically, a legal stimulant because I was teaching children all day. And you realize, at that point, you're like, oh, now I get it. Now I know why my teachers drank like 2 liters of coffee a day when I was in 2nd grade. It's because they got a deal with, let's try this, by the way. It's because they got a deal with 37-year-olds all day. You know, anything to not just give you a little pep, but just distract you a little bit. Okay, bag of marbles, enemy starts with vulnerable on turn 1. But because I started late, I'm kind of like absent some of the other preconceived notions that people have about coffee because I only experienced it as an adult. For example, I got no problem with cold coffee whatsoever. I know there's people out there that are like, cold coffee, yuck. Dude, cold coffee is delicious to me. And there are people as well, and if this is your personal preference, I'm not calling you out, right? You know yourself better than I know you, no question about it, maybe. But, you know, if people are like, in the wintertime, cold coffee, are you crazy? Well, you know, when you go to the deli, you don't go, hey, can I get a warm Coca-Cola, please? Like, you drink other drinks cold. Yo, okay, hold on. We can't use it on this floor, but blank card question card is an error room or something. So if we get rid of error walk, to take blank card, question card. Well, you try to use it on the cathedral. You know, why is it coffee and tea are the only beverages that are like, you know, you have to have them hot in the wintertime. I love having a cold drink in the wintertime. As long as, you know, it's not going to give you hypothermia on the hands to hold it or something like that. But that's, you know, you got to prepare for the season. You have gloves or something. I believe in you. Get out of here. No, thank you. So if you're a wintertime cold coffee drinker, I'm with you. The advantages with cold coffee are they exist. And the only reason, yeah, let's do it. No transformation is a terrible sign. The only reason I even bring it up is because we as cold coffee drinkers oftentimes have to defend ourselves from hot coffee drinkers who are like, cold coffee? Are you crazy? Why, have you been watching my videos? Okay, turns out this run is actually still pretty good. I didn't re-roll for Zane, by the way. I re-rolled because I did feel like we were a little bit behind the curve on DPS when we lost the aura bonus, so I think this has actually turned out just fine. It was a rare tactical plus zany re-roll. Should have waited for the re-roll until we saw our deal with the devil, I guess, because we lost Goathead, but particularly, you guys remember that case where people were like, oh, you know, that lady, she's suing McDonald's because she ordered an iced coffee, but they served it to her too cold. It spilled all over her legs and gave her frostbite. No, you don't remember that one? That's because it was hot coffee and it burned her pants to her legs. Now, I'm not saying that that one specific situation renders all hot coffee, you know, inadmissible in the court of gastronomic experiences. I'm just, you know, I'm using like a high school debate experience to, well, basically make myself look more insufferable. But anyway, whatever kind of coffee you like, that's fine by me. But if you like cold coffee, dude, get a cold brew kit. Sushi Cat San, a fan of ours, and ever since the cold brew kit arrived, dare I even say a friend, changed my life. Now, like, you know, and I sometimes use the single-use bottle. It's like a minute at night equals close to a liter of ready-to-drink coffee for the next day. Or alternatively, you know, 10 minutes at night equals like 2.5 liters of coffee for the next 3 or 4 days. And that's probably, you know, more coffee consumption than average, but I don't know, maybe. You got to keep in mind that for the average, there are some people out there that are like, I drink 12 cups of coffee a day. But I have like I have a problem. I'm going to be careful with the way that I phrase this. I have a problem with liquids. A problem with imbibing liquids specifically. No matter what the liquid in front of me is, I will just keep drinking it. Until sometimes, you know, you get free refills from a restaurant, I will just tell them no. You know, they'll be like, hey, do you want another Diet Coke? And I'm like, yeah. And then I finish that one in like 10 minutes, and they're like, do you want another Diet Coke? And I'm like, please stop bringing them, because I'm just going to keep drinking them. And it's not like, I mean, I get there's 0 calories, but it's more like I don't want to pee every 10 minutes. But, you know, when I get bored, I'm like, I want to entertain myself, so what do? Oh, there's water here. Yeah, I guess I'll just drink like a whole glass of that. Then they come by and fill it up, and I drink that glass, and they come by and fill it up, and I drink that glass. I'm not thirsty. It's just like, you know, there's a lull in the conversation. Drink 300 milliliters of water. I know I'm not alone. Who was it? I forget who it was. It was somebody in the, you know, from the NLSS crew. But we sat down. Maybe it was Bear. I think it was Bear. We sat down at a restaurant. And they're like, hey, what can I get you guys to drink? And my dude said, a pitcher of water. That's not hating. I'm respecting that he knows, like, hey, I drink a lot of water, so by the way, you know, if you want to save yourself from having to refill this glass over and over, just bring me one of those plastic pitchers full of water. I don't do that. Instead, I say, I'll have a water, please. And then, oh, we must have had tarot cloth? So happy to see Eden's blessing, by the way. I go, you know, all of a pitcher or all of a glass of water, please. And then I just make them refill it 30 times. Because in my head, I'm like, I'll probably not even drink one glass. Okay. Well, take. We're going to get Bookworm, so... Would we rather have Book of the Dead? I think we'd rather have Book of the Dead than Book of Revelations here. The real question is, do we want to have Firemind? And I'm going to say no. So I think we're going to leave these items behind. We must, yeah, we just got Conjoined. Conjoined Shower Handle. I'm like, do I really want to go off on these tangents with like another, you know, 90 seconds left in this run? I'll hit you with some rapid fire stuff. You guys see the trailer for Jordan Peele's new movie, Us? Looks cool. Do you think that he became one of the most creative minds in horror by drawing on his own experiences of being a Mad TV cast member for 7 years? Bum, 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 bum. Quick hits. All right, where are we going with this? Okay, quick hits. No time to be discerning. Saw a great comment on Reddit. Seems like the hive mind has turned on the television program Black Mirror. One comment really made me laugh. It said, Black Mirror used to be technology but bad. Now it's, what if me mum ran on batteries? Quick hits. That being said, Black Mirror... Right now, I kind of treat it like a trashy science fiction novel. And I mean that in the best way possible. Even though, in the last season, there were a couple of episodes like... So, I mean, if you haven't seen any episodes of Black Mirror, it's okay. I still think the show is very interesting. In the same way that, like, you know, I thought the last season of Game of Thrones was, like... It was very evident that they had run out of book material to work on. I still like the show, and I'm excited for the next season, and the same goes for Black Mirror. But the episode where the lady... Oh, and she just can't stop killing. It did rattle me. It sent a shiver down my spine. Body's aching all the time. Anyway, thanks for watching. Because I've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. We're on 13 wins in a row. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future, of course. And for now, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Northernlion. And notified when I go live in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!